All right, Tod.
That's the most patient I've ever heard him. All right. When you're ready?
Yeah.
Okay. The Western Washington University Vikings advancing to the West Regional Final. Coach Travis Connell, center. Emily Bunnell scored the game winner in overtime against Concordia on your screen left. Hattie North, screen right. Coach, will let you start with some general comments about the game.
Crazy game. I mean, I've been coaching a long time, and you seldom see things like that happen, especially against such a quality team as we were playing against with Concordia. They've had an amazing season, and we knew it would take not just our best, but something special to beat a team like that. The opening goal that Gabriella Ewing scored was just a big-time goal from their playmaking senior, which was really impressive and fitting for the enormity of the moment. But these gals found a way, and they battled back, and they just wouldn't say no. They wouldn't quit. And that's not about coaching. That's not about tactics. That's just about heart, determination, and who they are as people. So it was just fun to be there and watch it all happen.
It says so much about your team that with less than 5 minutes to go, when a lot of teams might think about, oh, how am I going to pack the bag and zip it back up and get on the bus, that your team literally lifted itself up off the field. Could you address that a little bit and about some of the leadership on your team that made that possible?
Right. And it's really who they are. I mean, this has been kind of the way they've played throughout this season, and it hasn't always been like a perfect clean game, but they always believed in their abilities, and certainly Emily and Hattie were a big part of that today and have been throughout the season. But I mean, I could go through the entire roster and name players that have stepped up in different moments, and that kind of thing is contagious. Concordia has the same thing on their team. I mean, ton of character and belief in their abilities as well, and so you just saw those two things running into each other today. Is two teams that just had a ton of belief in themselves and didn't want their season to end.
Obviously, having Gabriella back in the lineup, a big plus for you as well, a goal and an assist today. Talk a little bit about the contribution, and maybe talk about, having to wait for the right time to get her back into the lineup. That had to be a hard decision to make at times.
Yes, it was. And she's not 100%, obviously, but I have to give her a lot of credit. She's finding ways to kind of adjust her game so that she can still have an impact, and I think that she has grown a lot as a person because of her teammates around her and the example they set for her, except the way they carry themselves, and now she is growing into that same type of maturity where she's putting the team first, and it was great having her out there. She had a huge impact on this match.
Let's go a little chronologically then, so Hattie will go with you. 20 seconds after they score, it's 2-0. There's less than 5 minutes to go, and you pop one in. Talk a little bit about your thought. I mean, it was almost a, well, let's just put this one in the mixer and see what happens type of goal, but it was a beautiful touch on it for your finish.
I think when they scored their second goal, everyone kind of put their head down for a second, and we looked at each other and we're like, hey, it's not done. And I think that's really the root of it, is we have a lot of hope, and we were talking afterwards, and every person was like, even after they scored their second goal, I didn't feel like we were going to lose. So I think that's just a big thing, and if I didn't score it, I think someone else would have. We have a ton of hope, and I think immediately after they scored, we were like, hey, let's go. We got to turn it on right now.
Not a bad time to get your first goal of the year.
True. Yeah.
Walk us through it just a little bit. I mean, did you see a spot? Did you just say, hey, I'm going to challenge the keeper and try? What were your thoughts as you took the shot?
The sun was in her eyes, so we kind of talked about going into the half that, we need to test her, we need to take shots, and those high shots are pretty on when the sun is in her eyes. Honestly, I was pretty fired up, and I was open, and I was calling for it for a while. So when I got the ball, I looked for the cross, but there wasn't really anyone in, so I was kind of going for far post for someone to get in, but,
You'll take what happens. Yeah, exactly. Emily, 2 goals for the season, both of them at this stadium, both a couple of key goals as well. Tremendous angle on your finish. Gabriella obviously setting you up well, but it took a great touch from you to get the game winner. Talk a little bit about it.
I mean, I knew Gabriella was working super hard to get the ball down the line and challenge, and she is such a crafty player. I always say she's kind of dancing around the ball, so I knew she'd pull something off. And we always practice when it's that tough angle, you got to get to the near post because it's most likely going to go there. And so I just put my head down, got to the near post, and Gabby lifted the ball perfectly, and I was able to utilize my head and flick it in, basically.
What does it say about this team that, again, with less than 5 minutes remaining, you were able to do what you accomplished as a team today?
I think throughout the season, many times we've had to kind of take a step back, take a deep breath, and realize our strengths and how we can use those in order to win games. We've been in situations kind of like this before, whether we're only up by 1 goal and we have to continue to work our hardest until the end, or we are tied and we have to get that second goal, and sometimes even behind, like today. We have heart, and I think that's the biggest thing. Concordia is such a fantastic game for us to play. We always come so fired up, and they give us a run for our money, and so I think that extra motivation today, that this could be some people's last games. We didn't want it to be, so we put our all into it, and we got the result we wanted.
Coach, you moved from one familiar opponent to another now in the next round. UC San Diego played them in the postseason a year ago, played them at the start of the regular season. They also came back from a 2-0 deficit today to win 3-2. Talk about the Tritons a little bit and what you'll face next week.
They're good. Yeah, every team you're going to play is good. We have a ton of respect for them. We will, again, we have to play well ourselves. That's what needs to be our focus, and I believe that playing in these kind of games, facing Concordia 4 times this year, will only make us a better team as we go on and try to represent the GNAC against a good team like San Diego in the regional final.
We'll turn it over to other media on the line there, sir.
Well, I think, Tod, you pretty much covered every question I was going to ask.
Good.
I just want to say congratulations to Travis and the gals, and what a great performance. Everyone here at Western is proud of you. But I guess one last question for you, Travis, is I think in every interview you mentioned the heart and the character and the grit of this team. And you talked about it a little bit earlier, but how much does that compensate for when you're down 2-0 and they just kind of look at each other and say, we're going to get this done?
Well, I mean, it's the only path through when you're down 2-0, really. I mean, you can't skill your way through that. You can't tactics your way through that. It's the only way is this undeniable belief in yourself, and it's what we love. That's why we tune in to watch sports on TV, and we go to the stadiums to watch for improbable victories like this, where the only way you can do it is with belief, and not just one person. It's the whole group that is pulling in the same direction with that belief. We saw it today.
And Emily, you missed most of the season. You only made your season debut in the last road trip of the season. Can you imagine 1 month ago that you'd be scoring the game-winning goal in the NCAA second round in overtime?
No. But I'm glad it happened.
You work so well with Gabby. You said she dances around the ball, but how much has your senior forward being back and what she can do on the field in those impactful moments meant to play with her and to see her do her thing in crunch time?
How do we explain her? She's very authentic in the way she moves around on the field. You never know what she's going to do, but she pulls it off, and so having her back, just dicing around people today, was obviously a game changer, and it seriously helped us. So, and I love playing with Gabriella. She's just a fun person to play with, so it made me even more motivated to, work my hardest in order for us to work together well.
Perfect. Well, thanks, and congratulations again. See you guys at Bellingham.
Thank you.
See you, Jeff.